Hey all, welcome back to Ukulele Wine Time. My name is Catherine. This is part 3 of strumming for beginners. In part 1, we talked about the mechanics of strumming, how to physically strum your instrument. In part 2, we started looking at some rhythms, whole notes, quarter notes, and half notes, strumming patterns based on those, doing downstrokes. And in part 3, we are bumping it up a notch by doing upstrokes on our ukulele. And to do that, we're going to have to do a slight detour over here to my dry erase board to look at some rhythm. So stick with me. We're going to be looking a lot at the magic number in music, which is 4. So as I mentioned in part 2, building a strong rhythmic foundation, a good understanding of counting and rhythm is going to help you learn songs more easily. It's going to help you feel super confident with strumming patterns, and especially if you're trying to sing and play at the same time. So what I'm about to put on the board here is a rhythm lesson that I like to do with my students. And I did this with a group class the other day where we had a whole range of levels from very basic beginner to someone who is doing bar chords and playing jazz songs on her ukulele. And from all ends of the learning spectrum, everyone was like, whoa, this is so helpful. It's kind of helping me unlock this rhythmic understanding. So I want to share this with you. We're going to go back to our whole note that we talked about in the previous lesson. So give me a second. I'm going to draw this on the board here. Okay, I'm going to write our magic number over here, 4. So our whole note, we hold it for 4 beats. If we split this in half, we've got 2 half notes. This half note is 2 beats. This half note is 2 beats. That equals 4. Okay, our whole note equals 4. With me? If we split these in half, so I'm going to split my half note in half. We get quarter notes. Each of those is 1 beat. Okay, if we add those all up, that equals 4. If we split those in half, those are called eighth notes. And one small aside, when I'm drawing an eighth note, a single eighth note by itself has a little flag like this, but when it's 2 together, they have a beam, so those are going to be beamed. Okay, so an eighth note is half a beat. So we've got half, 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 half. That also equals 4. With me so far? Whole note equals 4. 2 half notes equals 4. 4 quarter notes equals 4. Or 8 eighth notes equals 4. And this is where music is really cool because it's all about, it can be mathematical and it all just makes sense. And these multiples of 4 not only help us count the music, but they also help us with strumming patterns. So knowing that each measure of music needs 4 beats in it is a really great thing to know. This way, I can start to actually create my own strumming patterns. So in part 2, stay with me here, we did whole notes, right? So downstroke, that lasted 4 beats. We did half notes. We did quarter notes, all strumming down on all 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to start doing upstrokes, and these are centered around eighth notes. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's clap the rhythms on this grid one time, and then we're going to move it back to our instrument. Okay, so here we go. Starting at the top, we'll read down this this configuration. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4 half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Great job. If you were counting and clapping along with me, yes, extra bonus star points for you. Let's bring it back to your instrument now. So we're going to play a C chord, 3rd finger, 3rd fret of your A string. We're going to start with downstrokes on quarter notes or on all 4 beats. So let's start there with our 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. And now I'm going to count the ands for what will eventually be our upstrokes, but we're still going to only play downstrokes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and stop. All right, you may have noticed that my wrist is moving the whole time. This is what you want. This is going to help you stay on track. So my wrist, I'm moving down with my downstrokes, and those are on the big beats, on the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the upbeats or the ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's when my wrist is moving up. So I invite you now, step 1 is to not strum. Let's just move your wrist up and down without touching your strings, and let's count that together. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 more times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Great. Now let's move it to your ukulele, to strumming that same rhythm. So now we're going to do down, up, down, up on the strings for all of these eighth note beats, are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you want to see the visual of that, you can check out, this is line 4 on your printout. All right, ready? 1, 2, ready, play. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, don't rush, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Last time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Amazing. So this is a wonderful thing to practice if this rhythm is new to you, if this concept of upstrokes is new to you. Just this, what we just did, is something to spend a couple days on, maybe a whole practice week on this. Again, setting up a strong rhythmic foundation is going to help you unlock these other strumming patterns more easily. And this is paving the way to our island strum, which, by the way, is down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. All right, so we're making our way to that. So in part 2, we played She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain with our whole note and half note and quarter note downstrokes. Now we're going to try it with these eighth notes. So it's going to sound like this. 3, 4, C and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll give us a nice count off, a little bit slower. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. She'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up. She'll be C and 2 and 3. Here comes our G chord, 4 and G and 2 and 3 and she'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming and down the mountain when she down, up, 3 and 4 and stop. Okay, so that was one time through our song, doing all eighth notes, down, up, down, up, down, up. Once again, this is a great thing to pause here, linger on this lesson for a little bit, excuse me, until you really have the down, up, feeling pretty comfortable before you move on to part 4, where we're going to change it up a little bit, give you another strumming pattern to try. Okay, so your 2 practice assignments for this part is number 1, check this out. It's on your free handout below. You can count and clap through this, and then you can also play it on your ukulele. And then number 2, going through, she'll be coming around the mountain using your down, up, down, up, down, up pattern or your eighth note pattern. Okay, I will see you in the next video for a new strumming pattern. We're going to keep going. You got this. Thanks again for being here. My name is Catherine. Cheers. Ukulele wine time.